this is our planet project continued. You do have some options. Hopefully by now you have your background created. And you could, if you would like, do smaller planets, multiple smaller planets, or you can just focus on one large one, or even a combination of all these is fine with me. I thought it may be helpful to have another demonstration of blending the chalk. If you feel comfortable, you can always skip ahead. If not, go ahead and watch. I like to start with my darkest color and sort of make a moon shape. And depending on the size of your pastel you're using, you may want to use even the side of it. So I'm creating that moon shape and I'm going back and forth in this motion, and sometimes I'll even go kind of in a circular motion. This keeps the appearance of something looking circular. And I'm leaving a little room here so I can add that reflected light, and because these will blend outside of the line. So you don't want to color right up next to that line for that reason. Okay, I'm ready to grab my other color, a little bit lighter. And then how about some yellow? You may notice there is a good amount of dust that's building up on the paper, and I am not touching it. I'm leaving it alone right now. If you need to, you can always tap it in the trash. Add that highlight. Pastel's a little dirty. Okay, now we're gonna start lightly blending. So you're not using a lot of pressure. Being very, very gentle, like we're petting a baby animal gentle, super gentle. If you push down too hard, you end up rubbing the pigment off of the paper. And if you try and layer it too many times, it does not want to work. You can always add a little bit more, but it's better to work with what you have and then gradually add more instead of keep adding and rubbing it off the paper. So I'm going to go back and darken some areas, get a little closer to my edge. And then get my highlight again. So notice I'm going kind of circular. And watch, if your fingers have a certain dark color on them, it might goof up the rest of your blending. So it's always helpful to have a paper towel nearby if you have that problem. So just keep very, very gently blending it. And at a certain point when it gets to be a lot of dust like mine, pause and tap it on the trash. Once you're done gently blending, you're ready to add some details if you choose. Like you could add those kind of details that I have in there. Take a look at a reference and see if you can find some good ideas. So you could do the circle shapes, and you're going to push a little bit harder. Just kind of do them evenly spaced as you can. Try not to smear. Now I'm just going to kind of pat these a little bit with my finger to sort of blend them with the rest so they're not quite as bold. Use a damp paper towel to just dust off your fingers a little bit, and you're ready for the next step. Be really gentle with your planets so you don't smear them when you're adding glue. Add a really skinny line or some dots around the edge. And just kind of use the very tip of your finger to very pat those those down. And if you probably noticed, I have some going off the edge, and I'm just going to trim them here in a second. Okay, after you've kind of tapped them on there so they're not gonna scoot around on you, really carefully turn it over. Make sure there isn't any glue or anything on your table. And you're going to press on the back in those areas and gently rub the back. Don't move your paper or it will smear your pastel. Carefully turn it back over and you're ready to do some trimming. So flip it over so you can see where you need to do the trimming. Watch where you're putting your hands and carefully trim those off.